YouTube. Oh, YouTube. How's it going, everybody? How's it going, guys? Hello. Boo. Boo. All right, so this is the pre-podcast hangout. So we're just going to hang out and bullshit for a little bit before we get the podcast actually going, kicking and going. I just wanted to come in and fucking hang out with you guys, you know, and do that thing. Enjoy some music that YouTube isn't going to fucking copyright strike because, hey, it's YouTube. Don't give me ideas. I don't give anyone ideas. They're your ideas. You know, they come into your head. No mods. We can do what we want. They're probably lurking there somewhere. No alcohol. Do you know me or do you know me? So, I trust you don't need ideas on being bad. No, not really. Not really. That is definitely not a thing. That is definitely not a thing. I love the delay on this shit. The delay is absolutely horrendous. It really is. It's absolutely fucking horrendous. So, Chad, let me ask you a question. Quick question. Oh, fuck. Quick question. After the podcast, would you guys like to see some gaming? Would you guys be interested in watching us make memes in Phasmophobia or Dead by Daylight? Would you be interested in that? Like, I'm trying to avoid putting any gaming on this channel, but if you guys are interested in watching me be a horrible fucking gamer, we can definitely do that and keep the conversation going and kind of like a gaming after party. And of course, anybody in the chat that plays, that's interested, is more than welcome to join into joining. Like, would you guys be interested in watching some gaming after the podcast? Anyone? Too old. Hey, at least you're honest. I appreciate the honesty. There we go. So, Jay, sorry, mods are here. Mom showed up. So did I. And so I kind of got one. I'm sorry. I apologize. I really do. Just let you. I said anyone in the chat can join. I don't care. After the podcast, if you guys want to, hang out and play some games and shit, feel free. It's all good, That's the thing, though. I didn't want to. So, I mean, I wanted to, but I didn't want to. Like, anybody understands that, thank you for understanding it. I wanted to and I didn't want to. I just did. So, there's a part of me that feels guilty for doing it. Like, I'm not going to lie. Which I think should be a part of the subject for this evening. We should have to be talking about, kind of like life choices and guilt of those life choices. Yeah? You know, and then the kind of like the consequences and consequences, even though I know the term consequences has been used in such a way that people automatically think negatively of it, consequences aren't necessarily negative. Oh yeah, yeah. So don't do that. Please don't. Please don't do that. Just feel free for hating me for drinking. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. We're talking about a lot of shit. We're gonna be talking about a lot of shit tonight. You could say that. So I have a pair of clippers, and I was gonna let my hair grow out and then color it like half and half, but then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna shave it off, and I like the look of it. I like the look of it. The beard, shaved head. You know, I like how it looks. Compliment fishing? Who's compliment fishing? I'm not compliment fishing. I never compliment fish. I don't need compliments. You hate me, hate me. I don't give a shit. Just check on the vegan nuggets. How did I end up calling myself a witch? That's a good question. So first and foremost, the way that I was raised was kind of like counterproductive because my father was Catholic and my mom was a witch. I mean, counterproductive and no. Like, so I was kind of exposed to kind of like the two different sides of things at the same time. And it definitely helped. Like, you know, they have kind of like that exposure because I was kind of like had like the hypocrisy of Catholicism brought to me at a very early age because I could see it through the eyes of like my mother. At least my perceived hypocrisy in it. And then I've always been a researcher. I've always kind of really kind of looked into things. And the term that kind of best fit me, because I guess now I suppose I kind of prefer kind of occultist because that's more like what I am. It kind of fits the kind of the the path a little bit more. It's just kind of calling myself an occultist, but I still maintain being a witch. And calling myself one, it just kind of came from the idea of kind of like identifying with like my ancestors and history. So I just like the term. There's really nothing kind of deeper to it than that, like other than fact that, like, I just like being called a witch. Like, I like it. It feels right. You know, like, you know, balls to bones. It feels like the right thing to be called. You know, yeah, occultist is a good generic term. I'm definitely an occultist. Like for lack of anything else, like if you don't feel like I deserve the title of being called a witch, you can definitely call me an occultist. Because that's definitely where I'm at. And, like, I'm an active occultist. I'm, like, not one of those occultists that sit there and on the occasion, like, I read a book and say, hey, I know this. No, like, I actually do shit. So it is what it is, right? So, you know, I will always have an altar in my home. I will always, you know, worship Baphomet and Hel. Those are my two patron deities, you know. And yeah, I mean, witch just feels right, you know. I mean, I like definitely spiritually speaking. Like if you go to like the spiritual side of things, I'm more Norse pagan, spiritually speaking, than anything else. But it doesn't feel right calling myself a Norse pagan because, like, honestly, like my bloodline doesn't go that way very much. Like, I mean, I've got French and German in me, but like it doesn't really go, you know, that far. You know, I think I have a closer relation to the Celts than I do anything else, but due to like the Irish heritage. But I just, it doesn't feel right calling myself a Norse pagan. But spiritually speaking, that's kind of like where I'm at. Like philosophically, however, like I always tell everybody, I'm a philosophical Satanist. And the reason I say that, there's a very specific reason I say that I'm a philosophical Satanist, and that's because of the fact that I look at the LaVeyan Satanic Bible as a book of philosophy, and I believe that as a philosophy, it is more relevant to a healthier, mentally and physically, a healthier way of life for everyone. I have not, Jay. I have not. Well, I avoid the term priest, even though I am ordained. But I mean, anybody can get ordained in 5 fucking minutes on the internet, So it's like, whatever. But I'm ordained through like the Universal. I think it's Universal Life Church or whatever. So I mean, I can do weddings and baptisms and funerals and all that shit. But I don't lend myself to calling myself a priest because I feel that like priest has a very kind of negative connotation to it, like especially with Catholicism. And like if you watched like last week's episode, like when we're talking about the 330,000 children from 1950 up until now that have been that were abused by over 3,000 different priests over that time period, at which 22 are only eligible to be prosecuted. I understand that, but I think that through Catholicism, the term priest has been very tainted. I think we should probably come up with something different. I think as occultists, I think it's our kind of like our responsibility to kind of segregate ourselves as much as humanly possible from the, the organization that is Catholicism. Necronomicon is sorcery. Yes, it is. The Necronomicon is definitely sorcery. Necromancy, more specifically. And there's still a great debate of whether or not like the Necronomicon was written as a joke or it's actually serious. Teach their own. Like, I think it's a great book. But like you said, the title is... Yes. So I think I have no idea what to suggest to you to call ourselves. And that's something that I think universally, like we kind of have to kind of start kind of throwing around and see what sticks to the wall, kind of like spaghetti, So I think that we should definitely though kind of take the time to kind of, exactly. You can you can 100% get worship, like say you worship Mickey Mouse and get results. You can 100%. Like it's more of kind of like a representation of who you are as a person, and what it is that you want to achieve as a person, rather than actually like worshiping a literal deity. Like, if you want to be a goofy son of a bitch to make everybody fucking laugh, I think Mickey Mouse is a perfect deity to worship. So fucking go for it, man. I'm not going to judge you. All right, we're going to get Mystic in here. Hold on a second, Mystic. Hold on to your nutsack. There you go. Let me pop you out here. Oh, shit, I fucked up my camera. God damn it. Hold on a second, chat. I'm all purple and shit. And there's like 3 of me. Properties, deactivate, activate. There we go, it's fixed. And then we're going to go into... Where the fuck are you, dude? This right here. There we go. Whoa! Why can I only see the top of your fucking head? Hold on a second. Yeah, I probably did. Oh, hey, look, there you are. I see you. That background, can I say, is just fucking amazing. Well, it was work that paid off. It looks awesome. I mean, blue is definitely... You'll get a what? Drink. There we go. Can we do blue here? I'm gonna do blue too. If you're gonna do blue, I'm gonna do blue. It's gonna look fucking weirdo though, because the whole podcast overlays red. There we go. We're twinsies. Okay, I can't do blue over here. God damn. That is wait, no. No. Do you now? Oh. Ooh, wow. Wow. But now I can't see you. That is some bright ass shit. Can you dim it? I'm looking at it right now. Like that shit needs to be dimmed. Like hot and cold. It is, isn't it? Oh yeah, there's a major delay on YouTube. Also, he's muted. Oh shit, yeah. There you go. Now you guys can hear him.
Well, that's probably
Thank you,
good
Jay.
with the list of expletives.
Jay's like, can it be flashing really fast? No, it can't because people might have epilepsy.
I mean, we can do that.
What, trigger people's epilepsy?
Yeah, if we really want to. No, actually, I like it bright, whether it hides my face or not, because it makes it looks like mine is shining on your face.
It does, doesn't it?
It
It does
does.
a little bit because I got the red because over here the other light. Yeah, that does. That's kind of cool.
I like it.
But point here, it's going to be a little difficult to see the tarot cards.
We'll figure that out.
Okay, we'll figure it out. So yeah, so we're talking about the word priest and how I think that we should, as occultists in general, should probably try to come up with a different general term to use within the occult community other than priest, because I think due to Catholicism it has been wholly tainted.
And the damn taints.
So what do you think? I mean, we're still in the pre-show here.
Yeah, I don't know. What would you call it?
I don't know. Like, any ideas? Like, I'm asking you. I'm not asking you to ask me. I already asked you. There you go. Now you're centered.
I'm gonna say I'm a little too busy trying to center myself because it's gonna drive me absolutely freaking nuts. So it's better now. I feel good. Life can continue. I don't know. Like I don't have a. I never really thought too detailed about it. I never used the term priest and priestess. I think that they're.
I mean, I think priestess is less tainted. I don't think priestess is tainted at all. I think priestess is still valid, but there's something about priest that.
I don't think priest so much, like for me anyway, is tainted any more than pagan is, because they probably came around the same time. But it's finally I'm better centered. I was gonna have a hard time with that. I just still need to go 2 over. There we go. Okay, I'm better now. Thanks.
There you go.
Yeah. I just got to get my other shit back to where it was. So everything's all over the place. I'm combobulated. There we go. I feel better now. So, what I was going to say is priest and priestess both sound like characters to me. Not,
Characters.
yeah,
Okay.
not truly a thing or a person or something. And I think it's been used so much it's practically wasted anymore. You know, it's like I am the first deaconess of the Baptist. No, all that sounds the same to me. Occultist is my favorite word, but it's not the same thing as what you're talking about. Like a priest conveys you in my brain a specific level of something. So like, to me, you can't be a priest in my brain. This is not true. Everybody's gonna hate. They don't get a lot of trouble for this one, but priest and priestess are not and should not to me be coven based things. They should be specific god and goddess based things, like a priestess of Dionysus or a priestess of blah blah blah. You know, I just don't
Okay.
see it the way other people do, and I don't use it. So
See, for me, like when somebody says, "Yeah, I'm a priest," like I just like, oh, so you like to do the diddly did with the, with the diddly do. Uh, that's the first thing that pops into my head. Now I can't fucking hear you. Now you like I see your lips moving, but there's no sound.
I crossed
Oh, there you
over.
go.
I
I can
love
hear
it.
you. Well, see, Lorelai, like, so here's the thing. Like, I do ritual work, but I do not and will not consider myself a priest. I
Same.
do a
I mean,
lot of ritual work. I do ritual work like daily, and I will not call myself a priest.
and that's the here's the thing. Like, you can, if you are an eclectic, and I'm just throwing this out there from, again, I don't necessarily agree with it, but if you are a self taught and or taught whatever, and you consider yourself a witch like I do, and you consider yourself pagan like I do, and you may be a member of some group or you've been studying a certain kind of paganism, you've been doing it your whole life and you do rituals, you can consider yourself a priest of your own, of your own mentality or denomination, whatever you want to call it. But the criteria for the title doesn't exist, because I can say, well, you know what, I'm a priest of my life. I manage all of my own spiritual ritual and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Just like you can, like, you're like, well, I'm a first degree dedicant, a second degree dedicant, a year and a
Oh, that just
day.
sounds like fucking karate,
Yeah,
man. Like, I'm a first
it
degree
does.
yellow belt. I'm a third degree black belt. It's like, wait, what?
Exactly. And it's all, to me, it is important to identify those that have had more experience, but it's not important to separate yourself from the people that have that experience. It's just like I do at work. Yes, I have the given authority at work to be the director of my department. However, I treat myself the same as my employees and they treat themselves the same as me. We share information. I certainly get the bottom line, the final say. If it was my coven, for if you want to say I started the coven, right?
Yeah.
Then if I started it, then I get the final say, but that doesn't make me any more valuable or important to the process than anybody else. And I think using priest, priestess, and things like that, just personally,
Mm-hmm.
kind of creates a barrier where there doesn't need to be one. Now, nothing against anybody who uses it at all. I mean, it
Right.
has a purpose. I just, from my personal practice, like, we have a group art. We have the most eclectic group of people you'll ever find. There's probably 6 people in our, 7, maybe even 8 actually, in our close knit group. You have 2 druids, a Wiccan, a Satanist, self proclaimed, a gypsy, another druid, somebody who's completed all 3 sections. So we're
Yep.
just like,
I'm
let's
with
do
you.
shit. We have elders. That's about it.
Like, I mean, the elders thing. I mean, that I'm okay with that. Like, the elders thing kind of makes sense to me. Like, I can go with that. Like, because elder just means like elderly within that particular sect.
Yeah. Like our
So
scrying mirror video, Joy's our elder in our group, and she's the elder to Wiccan, Satanists, pagans, and everybody else that's in the group the same way that she is to anybody else,
well, damn.
because she's got experience and she has that wise way about her, and she can give advice that
Right.
matches any group's need. I'm not
I mean, that makes
apologetic.
sense. That makes perfect sense. Like, it really does. Um. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, bro. I get it. Sorry. So yeah. So elder, I'm okay with. Priest, just for me. Like, I mean, it's a personal thing, but priest for me just has that fucking weird. Like,
That's
don't,
connotation to it.
yeah, don't fucking come to me and tell me you're a goddamn priest, because then, I'm gonna want to put you in a cage in my basement.
It's like being a reverend, right? Like I don't want anybody to call me a reverend because I have that whole, the thing with the church. I could claim it if I wanted to, but it's so
Exactly,
I
exactly,
just like, oh no, don't revere me, please. That's not how this works.
exactly. Like, I mean, that's just kind of how I feel about things. Unless you're Judas Priest. Oh, did you just say that, Jay? Seriously?
It's terrible when somebody says Judas Priest because I do know obviously about Judas Priest, but all I can ever hear now in my life is Lady Gaga singing her song Judas, and it drives me absolutely insane. I want to just poke my ears out.
Oh, I
And I don't
forgot.
even
I
actually
actually
hear it.
like that song.
It's
Yeah.
no, no.
Dude, there's a lot of songs from fucking Gaga that I like, man. Like,
Paparazzi, probably. I could see that.
yeah, that's definitely one. Um, but like her songs are catchy. Like, I got to give her credit, man. Like, I mean, I'm not a pop person. I don't like pop music, but goddamn, her shit's catchy. Like, for example, like Billie Eilish. Like, I like Billie Eilish as far as pop is concerned.
I just love her voice.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the context and shit. Like, did you see the fucking video for You Should See Me in a Crown? She's covered in fucking spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has a tarantula crawl out of her fucking mouth, for Christ's sake. So like that was some serious shit. And then fucking Bury a Friend, that was also some good shit. So like, I mean, I like them both for different reasons. Like for me, like, so Eilish's music isn't as catchy as Gaga's music, so it's not like super pop, but I like it because it has kind of like that darker vibe to it, generally speaking. Not everything, but most of it has like a darker vibe to it. You get into Gaga, dude, Gaga's shit is just catchy. Like, I mean, like, I don't like pop music, but I can't turn it off.
Well, I have nothing at all against Lady Gaga. She has a beautiful voice. Songs are catchy. There are some that I even like. But if you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning with the person that sleeps in the bed next to you already singing the same stanza over and over and over, you do get over it. You do. I can sing every single song she has. Born This Way. Like seriously, it's grates my nerves.
I mean, Gaga is honestly, I think she's really good. I mean, in like the points that she tries to make, like, dude, what was it? Going to the Grammys in a fucking meat dress? Like, that was just fucking, my God. Like, that was just like out of this goddamn world. Like I told you guys before, I like artists that push lines, right? So if an artist is pushing a line and trying to make people think, like, I don't give a fuck what kind of music you do, or if it's even music, what kind of art you create, like, do it. Use your fucking art to make a point, So,
Like right now, if he sings Easy on Me, the same phrase again with Adele, I just might stop liking the song.
like, I mean, I would play some Gaga, but we're on YouTube, guys. If I play some Gaga, like, the hammer's going to come down quick as shit. And,
Yeah.
like, so we're not going to do that, you know? So Rihanna, I have like a love-hate thing for, because when I lived in Turkey, okay, so here's a story for you guys. So when I lived in Istanbul, okay, no, not really. So when I lived in Istanbul, my last job there was working for a company called Zafer Kablo. And the CEO of the company is the eldest brother out of three brothers by the name of Mustafa Koç. Great person, wonderful person. He hooked me up with an apartment. He furnished the apartment. Like, he gave me I had a fucking BMW while working with him. Like, he's just like, here, take the company car. You can take it wherever you want. I was like, what? I had a Beamer for fucking free. Like, I'm not complaining. In an apartment building that he owned that nobody lived in. Like, I was literally the only fucking tenant because it wasn't a finished building yet. Like, I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing because it might have been unsafe, but whatever. My only gripe with him was going into work because I worked in his office. I was his stay-in English teacher. That's what I was. Like, I would go in and we would talk the entire day. Like, I was getting paid decent money just to sit there and talk to a dude all day. But the only gripe that I had was, without fail, with his morning tea, because in Turkey it's chai. It's not coffee or normal like Earl Grey. No, it's chai in a little glass that kind of goes like this. He would listen to Rihanna's Umbrella on repeat for at least an hour straight.
Mm-mm.
So
Nope.
every single morning, Monday to Friday, for an hour minimum, I had to listen to Rihanna's Umbrella every morning, Monday to Friday, for roughly 8 to 9 months. If I ever hear that fucking song again, it'll be too goddamn soon.
My umbrella, Ella.
I will
Ella,
shoot you.
Ella.
I will fucking shoot you.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
And I'm all for people putting songs on repeat, enjoying the music, and having a good time. But 9 goddamn months.
I do something more annoying than that.
Oh, for fuck's sake, what?
I like so many different songs so much and different parts of different songs. I can never let one finish if you leave me in control of the radio. It's like, we'll get the first 3 minutes, like, okay, gotta hear this one. Nope, gotta hear this one. I just, a lot of people say they like a lot of music. I truly like just about every kind of music. I cannot stand WAP. Rook sings it nonstop. And I literally would just walk away. Can't handle it. Hate it.
I'm trying to figure out how that would work, Ziggy. I'm trying to hear the tune in my head. Oh, yeah, I got it. All right, well, you have no fear of me actually singing. I fucking hate that goddamn song. So it'll never happen.
Ella, Ella, Ella.
I swear to God, I will fucking hang up on you right now.
You're the one that put it into my head. I did not choose this life. Oh,
no, man. No, dude. I just like... I used to like that song, too. I used to think that was a decent song. And then, the first couple of days going in and listening to it, it's like, all right, yeah, we're grooving and shit like that. Third day, you're kind of like, all right, cool. Fourth day, you're like, dude, come on. 6 months later, you're like, I'm going to fucking stab you. Change the song. Anything. But this...
Yeah. See, my favorite music was always like trance or house or anything that had a vocal with a dance beat to it.
Dude, I don't... At that point, at that junction, I didn't give a shit if the motherfucker put goddamn country music on it because I hate country music. I don't give a fuck if he put country music on. I would have listened to fucking country music instead of that fucking song at that point.
There's a couple of country musicians I can listen to because I just really enjoy their voice because it's so different. Shoot me now, but I like the Dixie Chicks. That's one of the few. And I love Sugarland, Jennifer Nettles. Her freaking voice is so amazing, like just different from anybody's. They for what's the name of their Sugarland. They sing the song Incredible Machine. Freaking beautiful song too. But it doesn't sound super country when you hear it, but her voice does. And Stuck Like Glue. Oh my God. It's so funny the way she sings. It's so cute and cool, but it's like, if you don't know who that is or haven't listened to her, you have to. Obviously can't play it on YouTube, but like she draws out her stuff like true Texan, like now that I... It's hilarious. It's so
Even
bad.
Your mic cut out, dude. Like that twang, man. You just killed your microphone with that fucking twang, man.
It said no.
Oh, yeah, your microphone said, no, fuck you. We're cutting out. Fuck this shit. I'm out.
We will protect you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh, fun times.
Right. So Still got another 10 minutes before we officially start the podcast, but we are going to start it right here. So I'm going to hit the record button. Record. All right, so we're recording. So, guys, we're officially starting the podcast. So even though you've been talking to me for about 40 and both of us for about 30, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else, welcome very fucking much to the Malice Experience. And, yeah. We have a show for you, as always. What it's about, I have no fucking clue, but we're just gonna let it fucking ride. All right, as we always do. We do have topics. Dolly Parton, yeah. All right, rock on. For those listening to the pre-recorded prior to this starting up, we were talking about music and music that we love and hate, and apparently, Mystic likes Dolly Parton. It's all good. It's all good.
Jolene.
But at least we know that Mystic likes Dolly Parton's music and not anything else. Right? At least we know he's going for the music.
Round things are pretty too. Okay.
Round things are
Even gay guys have that problem.
All right. So I'm not hating on anybody.
Yeah, you'll lose that one. We will gang up on you so fast.
No, trust me. Like, no, there was a conversation I already had today. Like, I just assume, just kind of sit down, smile, and nod. Like, yes. It is okay. She's a national treasure. Well, each their own. I mean, I don't know enough about Dolly Parton to sit there and say whether I like Dolly Parton's music or I don't. I swear to God, you ever mention Nickelback in here again? Actually, I can't. Okay, for president, fuck that. They're Canadian first and foremost. So that's never gonna fucking happen. But
and unfortunately,
I do like Nickelback.
Oh, bye, y'all. It's been a fun show. I'll talk to y'all later.
I like certain songs.
How do I turn this thing off?
Right, I like certain songs from Nick. Fucking hate me, I don't give a shit. At me, right? I do like certain songs from Nickelback. Do I like them generally, overall speaking? No, but I think there's a time and place for it, especially if you're drunk and depressed. They're fucking wonderful to listen to.
If you're taking a crap on the toilet. So here's the thing about, I can't stand Nickelback music, not even a little bit, tiny bit, any song, any part of it. However, as an individual group, like, they do a lot of really cool stuff, like good things, community things. They're very supportive of, fundraising and philanthropy. So they do get that.
I mean, also, like, being completely honest, like, some of their videos have been like pretty creative. Like, so there's this one, I can't remember the name of the song. There's this one where this kid apparently dies in a car crash and doesn't realize he dies in a car crash. And he ends up going back to his apartment, and his girlfriend's packing her shit and crying and leaving. And he's trying to stop her and shit like that. And there's like little scenes inside of it that kind of give you hints, like him walking over like water but not leaving a footprint, right?
Yeah, which is amazing if they weren't singing during it.
I think it was pretty good. Look, I don't understand why people. I honestly don't understand why people hate on fucking Nickelback so much. I don't like all their shit. Like, there's a good majority of the shit's just like, what the fuck, man? But, like, I think, dude's fucking voice is, pretty decent, but they have a tendency of following a formula for all of their music, like every single one of their songs. And it gets kind of, repetitious, which is kind of why I only really listen to like what's popular. The fuck am I? What the fuck is that singing in the background at your place?
Who, me?
Rook, you sound like a fucking ghost, man. I thought I was hearing shit. Shut the fuck up, brother.
Nah, he ain't paying attention yet. He don't know better.
He just scared the shit. I just hear like the singing. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, wake up to that.
Right.
I don't even know.
Grumble, look at this photograph, Grumble. Or you can just look at the graph. I don't know. Whatever. I just realized that I just turned everybody against me, apparently. I'm sorry. but I figured I'd be honest. I mean, I do kind of fall into the fucking like fuck Nickelback kind of thing because he is a kind of an asshole. But anyway, um, what deck are we? What deck
So
we playing with today?
I got a couple of decks. If you look behind me to whatever side is behind me, I have two decks. I was going to see if anybody had a preference, and we're going to pick one because it's coming up on Halloween, Samhain, Scary Time, Liminal Time. Don't care what you call it. I
If that
have
is
the
the Nightmare Before Christmas deck, you're going for that one.
and the Necronomicon Tarot.
Oh fuck! Why do you got to do that? All right, chat. It's up to you guys. Necronomicon or the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot. What are we looking at today? Now we got to wait because there's a delay.
Yeah, Necronomicon or Nightmare Before Christmas. Did you see my Jack? My Jack is over here. My
All right.
Troll. My
Ziggy
Nuka
says
Cola.
Ziggy goes Necronomicon. Jay says both. I mean, problem solved. I don't know if we can do both. I don't know if we have enough time for that.
Yeah.
All right, we got one for
Um.
Necronomicon. It's Necronomicon and or the Nightmare Before Christmas, guys. Nightmare next week. There is not going to be a next week though.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm doing Silent Supper next week, so I will not be on Saturday, as far as I can tell.
Oh, we got two
Looks
for
like.
Necronomicon. Looks like Necronomicon.
Oh,
All right, here we go. We're doing the Necronomicon.
the Necronomicon, illustrated by Anne Stokes. This is a really cool deck. Like I've had this one for a while. Used it last year. Really neat book. The book is almost like a freaking comic book. It's the images are amazing. There are some cards I may not be able to show on YouTube, so if those happen to pop up, we will yank those. But
Swiftly skip over them.
yeah. So this the Necronomicon has it's some pretty cool imagery. Follows the standard tarot. Super flimsy cards though. I was a little unimpressed with that. Like I you know, long and thick are good, but thin, flimsy, not as much. Um
Why you gotta be like that though? Because not everything's long and thick. Sometimes it's just long. Sometimes it's just
I'm okay
thick.
with that. I'm okay with that. But not flimsy. That's a problem.
Yeah, flimsy is the problem.
They are. I mean, and I'm not to be funny, but not fun. They're really for cards. They're for what they cost. They should be better. So they are bordered fine. The borders are pretty small. They are you can pretty much reverse them because it's hard to tell, but you can actually see differences. So you can actually see it pretty good.
Not really. That brightness behind you is like. I mean, you can see it though.
See the eyeball in the middle. Nice. Each one does have a well, not everyone, but the majority of them do. Major Arcana will list what do you call it? I don't want to say demons, but underworld spirits, we should say. So, for example, the magician, I'm not saying the word because I can't say it. Nyarlathotep. So, pretty nifty card here. This is the magician. So you see it is bordered. I'm not a huge fan of borders in general, but cover my face
Yeah,
so I
but
can
it's a
zoom.
minimal border. It's like
Yeah,
like
it's pretty
when
minimal.
it's like when screen bezels started to get a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
know.
but it's super gloss card. They're pretty neat. Um, High Priestess. High Priestess, pretty cool card.
Oh,
I
bring that
think
a
I can
little
show that.
closer. We need to get you a better fucking camera. That does look fucking cool as shit though.
Yeah, it's the lighting probably. Since I added this lighting, it's kind of hard. Wait till you see the Empress and see like the thought. Well, I don't think I can show something with six. Yeah, probably not.
Six what?
Chesticles.
I mean, is it very easily identifiable?
Yes. I'll skip
Then
that one,
yeah, I don't have to
but
tell
I
you.
will show you the Emperor. Emperor's my friend.
There you go.
So anyway, the cards, some of them are pretty fantastical, even things like the lovers. But they're neat. It's a very cool deck. I don't think I would use it for a daily read, or a private tarot read or anything like that. But I think as we're running up on Halloween, pretty appropriate. I think it'll work pretty well. This is Temperance. Um, I think some of the meaning in the tarot itself is a little bit lost. Um, but we might as well show Cthulhu too when the devil shows, right? Yeah, Cthulhu, Cthulhu, kind of sexy. Um, the pip cards or your suit cards, they're pretty standard too. There's nothing that sticks out extremely special about them. Um, they're not. I do like the fact that they're not. You know how some cards that when they get lazy with the pip cards and the suits a little bit sometimes. Yeah, the Five of Wands has five wands on it, but there's additional imagery that goes along with it, which I like. Um, I have. I am going to use this deck to do a quick read. But this is um never been used before. This deck has been cleansed and consecrated, but it's never been used. So this will be a first time reading from it. And then because there's no next week, if we have a few minutes, I can pull the Nightmare Before Christmas, or we can wait until afterwards because to me, the Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas deck. Um, give it its full deservance of time on another episode, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe a little closer to Christmas might work. You know,
Yeah.
bring a little something spectacular into Christmas.
I need to do that this year. I used to go see The Nightmare Before Christmas every single year in the theater because it comes out every year again, usually in 3D. And used to go every time to see it. It's my ringtone on my personal cell phone. It's Sally's song. Oh, we got a jumper already. Star. Ooh.
Got a
Star is
jumper.
a
Call the fire department. All right.
qualified. Star is a beautiful card to have during leading into Samhain because in this particular tarot the star is represented by Ishtar. If you're familiar with Ishtar, I believe it's Mesopotamian. Don't quote me, I get those mixed up a little time, but it's a cohort or not, what is it? I don't want to say equivalent, but on the same lines of Inanna, if that is somebody you follow or have followed before. So we're getting in that old school, not quite Egyptian, but close to that area of pantheon. And the star generally speaks to lighting the pathway. So when we get to the Samhain times, right, we are talking about the liminal space between the physical and the spirit world where it's easier to cross over. You have liminal times, liminal days, liminal holidays. Those are the times when the veil is thin. Liminal times, as most people know, is kind of like the witching hour from 2 to 3 a.m. I don't know if that's Eastern Standard or British Standard. Just kidding. But those morning wee hours, and then liminal times are shoot, I'm not going to be able to remember in April. What is April's freaking turn of the year? But anyway, it's not Beltane. Maybe it is. I don't know. But regardless, those are liminal holidays, liminal festivals where we set the lights and the candles to guide our spirits to come visit and then have them go back. So it's a lot about remembrance, which is exactly what Samhain is really about. All right. So no other jumpers. We're starting with the star. Next, we have the Seven of Wands. Or as Rook would say, ones. The Seven of Wands.
Seven of Wands.
I know. He gets so mad at me when I joke on him for that. And then we have. Ooh, that's a pretty card. The Knight of Wands.
Nice.
So let's talk about what we start with the star, which is our only major arcana in this group. And the star is really, again, like I said already, is really about lighting the way. So this means as we get into that liminal area in the middle of darkness, we will be able to see where to go next. So the pathway will be clear. Doesn't mean it'll be easy, but it will be lit. So if you have something going on in the next couple weeks, I would highly suggest that you pay attention to the signs of the universe that are around you because there's guidance all around it. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. You shouldn't have to guess. The Seven of Wands is a little bit more unfortunate of a Texan accent. Seven of Wands is a little bit more foreboding because, in general, your Seven of Wands depicts somebody who has a group of people around him who are trying to crush his dreams. So, as you're working through whatever the energy is over the next couple of weeks, pay attention to those that are around you that may be trying to hold you back. You might only have one spear, they might have 10, but you have to fight to hold your ground where you are. Do not let people take you or tell you where you need to go. The 7 of Wands is well, depending on how you read tarot, the wands for me are fire cards. So when you are somebody that is representative of your own passion and people around you are trying to knock that passion out, the 7 of Wands says stand your ground. You know, you may have to retreat up a little bit to get a better picture of it, but stand your ground, don't give it up. And then the Knight of Wands is speed. So most people, I think, by now, if you've been in the podcast, know my theory on how I work with the court cards, which would be your page, knave, knight, and queen and king, depending on what kind of deck you're working with. But the Knight of Wands is the one who is the action. Your page is just learning. Your knight knows and is working in action. Your queen is the head of everything, pulling all things together, and your king is the person who puts the organization in place. So in this case, the Knight of Wands is saying things are going to move really fast. So there's a lot of speed involved, and I don't know if you can see it so much. I am gonna have to figure my lighting out somehow. But very similar to the Chariot, but the difference between a Chariot as a major arcana is really about moving the entire process. The Knight of Wands is about after you've stood your ground, um, make it happen. It's going to move fast. So things are going to go really quick over the next couple weeks, especially through Samhain. You're going to take a look back 2 weeks from now and be like, what the hell just happened? Where did everything go? So pay attention to what's around you because it's not going to be there for long. It's almost like a meteor shower of energy.
Hey, that sounds fucking wonderful. Is that the read?
Yeah. What did you think it
Wow.
was?
Oh no.
Where do you think I pulled cards from? My ass?
Maybe you got
They
that many of
smell.
them.
They don't smell bad.
Well, you never know. It's all good. Oh, alrighty.
These are pretty.
They are a pretty deck. That's for damn sure.
Yep. I would not use them for a read though. In a normal case.
Hmm. Why not?
Because they're pretty. They're not evocative, like in a sense of reading. It's something I'd probably have to spend a lot of time with. And plus, it's not my style of imagery either.
I guess I can understand that.
They're pretty, but yeah.
I guess I can understand that. That makes sense. All right. So, I realize I don't have one note.
Hmm.
So, Mystic, help us out. What are we talking about?
We can talk about many, many things, but I was going to initially bring up um, the. Hold on, let me put this book up.
I'm holding.
The little incident. I don't even want to say incident, but the comment that I had earlier today, where I have
Violet
obviously
Sky,
Facebook,
welcome.
and I hate Facebook, but I still have it. I don't know why.
You and me both.
Um, but I posted a comment on Facebook. Like everybody that knows me responded a very certain way, which was very appropriate, offering advice.
Mm-hmm.
Two people that I don't even know how they got on my friends list in the first place gave me two comments. One was, come to think of it, you don't deserve to own animals. And for F's sake, don't have kids. So my first reaction was, of course, I'm a sensitive person. I got really upset and feelings hurt. And then I got mad and then got over it. And then I messaged you and said, somebody needs to punch me in the face, which is actually what I actually said, I think, or
Yes.
something of the sort. Um, because just the fact of letting somebody you don't know bother you that much, and that kind of elicited that response of why I care, or care is the wrong word, why I allow people who I have never known or met or have any care for at all to have an effect on the type of day that I have. Because
Yep.
I lost a couple hours over that.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm like, why in the world do I have to try to spend my energy, of which I have very little of, and my time, which I have very little of, concerned or
Camera
worried
off.
about. Huh? No. Nothing has changed on my end that I am aware of.
Yeah, can you see? Can you see Mystic?
Ooh, I'm a ghost.
Yeah, your camera's dead.
I am lit up on my Logitech and I am lit up on Discord.
Can't see you. I can't see you in Discord or on stream. Yeah, Mystic is gone. Everybody's saying, hold on a second. I will be right back. I just ordered pizza, so I'll be right back, guys. 1 second. Try to figure it out. Like, leave and come back if you have to do.
Okay. I mean, if everything is working on my end and you can't see me, you might want to try it on your end to fix it. Heifer. But everything's working on my end. Interesting. And all I can do is restart Logi. And then hit Bethesda. Forget it. There is such a long delay. Um, in all of this, it's crazy. I'm not used to on YouTube. I'm about to turn this air conditioning back on. It's hot here. I just hope it's not too loud. Can y'all hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Where's the Discord? Discord is still picking me up, and I still have both of us lit. Like I have nothing on my end to do differently now. I have no clue what happened there. However, I'm not sure where to go from there. Tried that. Restart. Let's see if that does anything. I don't know. C'est la vie. Um. So yeah, while we're waiting, video, no video, songs you can hear. Interesting that these other people were able to have so much control over things that I chose to do for my day, mess my day up. So just unfortunately sad, I guess, is really the way to bring it up. No, he's got let's see what oh, maybe it did work. Ah, there it is. But allowing somebody else to um have that much control, is just sad. I don't think I will ever get to the point where I can quote unquote say that I don't care about other people and what they think, because I do, and that's just I do. Um, but I do need to get better about not allowing people to interfere or intervene in how my day goes. Because that's just too much power to give somebody that doesn't know you. And for people that would, the type of person it would take to say the things that people said the way they said them is just kind of like, nah, not important. Just shitty. There's lots of shitty people. How did Rook fix it? Wait a minute. No, 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 no. Hold on. What did Rook do to fix it? Did you go feed the Fae again? I feel like I feel like Rook goes out every day when I'm not paying attention to our Fae garden and puts something out there to kind of hold me back. I'm feeling some kind of way. We're gonna have to talk about that because I'm hurt. He is magical. I'm not going to take credit for that either, even though I introduced him to magic. But okay, okay. I am a reverend priest, priestess, magical devotee, warlock, magician of the third degree. How dare you? I hope everybody got the sarcasm in that, perhaps. But anyway, and hopefully you don't hear a whole lot of background noise because I've got our little room AC going. It's hot in this room. But uh yeah, letting other people take us hostage. It's really, really sad. That's my gripe for the day. There was something else I wanted to talk about, and I cannot remember. Oh, you know what? I messaged Malice about it, and he completely ignored me. Oh, it was this article that I read on um somewhere on the internet where a principal of a I think it was a elementary, it might be a middle school, um, had a picture posted with Iron Maiden, the group, the music group. Um, she was next to a truck with decorations about Iron Maiden. And so the people of the frickin' town boycotted her because they said she was a Satanist because of it. Now, granted, everything worked out well for her because all these things came up and the school board was like, y'all are stupid, let it go, and dropped it. But the fact that people would still petition against a school principal who everybody loved, by the way, who was a very good principal by all accounts, has done wonderful things for the school, did great things for the students. Everybody loved her, teachers loved her. They were trying to get her removed from her job because of a personal photo next to a truck that had Iron Maiden pictures and things on it, decorations. It is freaking hilarious, embarrassing, frustrating, and kind of annoying at the same time. So that was the other thing that was on my list, which is a great topic, and Malice missed all of it. So congratulations, Malice. Welcome to the Mystic experience. Um, well, regardless, any any picture of a person with something else, well, unless it's like murdering people, or even if it was a picture next to somebody with a satanic Bible, you shouldn't be able to petition for removal of somebody who's doing their job well. That is silly. It's objectionable. It's unconscionable. Um, there was another thing too in my head, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, but that one just made me so mad. No, we're not talking about Nickelback again. Um, I really am kind of sad that I'm going to miss podcast next Saturday. But I am also extremely excited for us to do our silent supper and ritual for Samhain. We have about 6 or 7 people coming over to do that, which I think is going to be really fun. Um, I think I talked about that last week though, so I don't want to rehash all that. Just I'm gonna have some fun. Uh, so yeah, a podcast with a co-host when only the co-host is present is a little weird. Trying to look in my grand list of things because I had a couple of other pieces that oh shit, that's bright. written down to talk about. Um, Yuri and I saw something about that. I don't know if it was the documentary, but I did see some actual, yeah, I believe it was articles, that kind of was talking about that group being racist, but also about some actual groups being focused on the racial underpinnings of that whole entire thing. Malice went to the wheat fields to get the wheat germ to make the crust of the pizza, and probably had to go to some random country to get the pig to get the meat to make the pizza, because that was a long time, Malice.
Yeah, I know it was. I had to fight with the fucking pizza guy
Finish-
because. So you ever guys, yeah, guys, you ever get a pizza and literally all of the ingredients are on one side of the pizza?
Yes, that's when you give your kid the side that has none of the pieces on it, and you eat everything else.
So that was the situation with both pizzas. Is that
That sucks.
all the ingredients were on one side of the pizza and the other side was just nothing. And
Yeah,
I
that's
ended
shitty.
up I ended up getting into it with the guy that was delivering the pizza because, yeah, sorry about the amount of time that that took. Sadly, I do not have, other people that can, assist with such tasks. Um,
And pizza's important. I'm just saying.
exactly. And I'm not going to send a 7-year-old to do it. Like he could probably barely carry both of the pizzas together. So, anyway, I need something. Like, I don't know. Um, so where do we leave off?
I don't remember because we went into quite a few quick topics.
Well, shit.
Oh, I talked about the principal who they were trying to petition to get removed because she had a picture with a truck that had Iron Maiden decorations on it.
That's a
So
thing.
almost, yeah, I sent you the article. It's almost like the like well, obviously it's not like the West Memphis 3 thing, but it's another example of using satanic panic to try to make something happen because somebody doesn't fit the mold of what people think they
Uh
should
huh.
be.
Exactly.
That was the idea. There was no murder involved. So, but we did not talk about pineapple on pizza, so that's still on the list. Um,
I pineapple. Did you just say pineapple on pizza?
yeah, I
I'm
love
trying to find a
pineapple
picture
on
of this. Oh,
pizza,
there we go. There it is.
but pineapple on pizza is only good if there's real actual bacon on it because Canadian bacon is not bacon, it's ham. Sorry, don't care what you say. Not salty enough. I like it salty.
I'm sure you do. I'm
I
sure
do.
you do.
The non-salty is just not a good flavor. I mean, I'll still, but yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Keep a bottle of salt by your bed. Everybody must have.
I mean, do you really have to do that though? You need like a bottle of salt next to you, or do you have like other means getting your salt intake?
I have a
I
salt lick next to the bed hanging near the whip.
do. Oh my god.
All right, me and Jurian are not friends now or ever.
Pineapple on pizza is like being stuck in an elevator with nothing but Nickelback playing loudly. It's a big no. Um, I'm not like the biggest fan of pineapple on pizza, but like I can do it. Like, it doesn't bother me.
I'll do anything on pizza except spinach. Like I don't like leafy things. I like olives, tomatoes, feta, every kind of pizza there is I'll eat except with spinach.
But
Something
actually, that's
about the
what
way this yeah,
that's what
just
I got tonight. I got veggie pizza. Like so there I got
oh, I love veggie, but I don't
I
yeah.
got pepperoni for the kid and veggie for me. So it's just got like there's like no meat on it. Spinach is fucking amazing. I love spinach. Like
I
ever
like
since
I
But
like spinach, but not on a pizza. There's something about the way that the spinach leaf gets stuck when you're biting through a pizza. It just, I can't do it. And then you bite it wrong and it takes all the cheese and stuff with it. It just pisses me off.
mm, mm. I do like spinach though. Ever since I was a kid and I watched Popeye for the first time, like the cartoon, not the movie. Like even though the movie too, with Robin Williams as Popeye. Like I don't know who was old enough to remember that, but and looking at Mystic's face, he's never seen it either.
I mean,
So apparently Robin Williams playing Popeye was one of his first fucking movies, his movie gigs. Like prior to that it was like TV shows. I think there's like Me and Morty or some shit. You've seen it multiple times. Thank you. See, there's a reason. There's a reason. Can't finish that sentence, but there's a reason. Um so yeah, definitely. So ever since I saw that, it's like, yeah, I just love Mork and Mindy. Thank you. I mean, Rick and Morty, Mork and Mindy.
close enough. Rick, Morty, and Mindy.
Rick, Mork, what was it? It'll go Rick, Mork, Mindy, and whatever the fuck the other one is. Morty. There it is. Mindy and Morty.
Well, this is going off the rails, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's where we live.
Nanu. Yeah.
Nano.
Wasn't the handshake like this? It was like I can't do it with the rings on. Yeah, I can. Like
Yeah.
That. So, right. So yes, I learned how to do that because of Spock, right? And on both hands. There you go. So, yeah.
I have no clue what that's about. Can you cut that? No, I'm just kidding. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this
It
works.
is not how it works. It's not how it's supposed to go. I'm sorry, chat. So trying to think of a decent topic to talk about. I thought we had shit, but
Well, that to me is one of them. We're getting to that time of Halloween, and I think it is also interesting. I read in the news about this being one of the biggest, I don't want to say biggest sales, but the highest dollar amount of sales for Halloween type decorations and stuff this year, which I think is pretty interesting. If you go to any of the stores, at least the ones around here in Florida, there's no Halloween decoration stuff out. Like it's empty, bare shelves, nothing. It's gone. Like you can't get anything.
what do you think's feeding into that?
I think, well, COVID for one, people being trapped in their homes, missing. I missed Halloween last year. We didn't do any of our normal stuff, and if we go all out for Halloween, like we have the animatronics, we have the lightning setups, the fog inside and outside the house, the trees lit up in the dark purple, and the graveyard set up the whole night. We didn't do any of it last year. So I think people are like rebounding a little bit for the Halloween decorations. But I think and feel like Halloween has gotten a little bit further, even further away from what it really is. Um, I didn't see any Christmas things, to be honest, down here anyway. Um, I know Rena put up her Halloween tree, which is really cool.
I haven't done that yet. I got to do that.
Yeah, we were going to do that this year, but it's just too much with the dogs and, considering my dog ate a bench,
Yeah,
wood and all.
that's what we were talking about before I had to get up. Was those comments that you were getting, and
Oh
then
yeah.
like trying to fucking figure out like how to, you know, um, basically not give a shit what people you don't know think about you.
I care now and I always will. But the key change for me is going to be it's part of being a nurse, I think. You just get used to it because I have to care about people that probably would stab me in the street, you know,
Mm-hmm.
part of being a nurse. Um, People that would yell and spit in my face out on the street for believing certain things would be the people I would have to put that aside and still care about them. which is very hard to do, especially lately. However, um, I think the key is really changing it from caring about what people think, sure, but allowing them to have an impact on what you do. That's where the line is drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I'm not good at yet. I did very well today though. Like, and I wonder how much of it is actually part of my abandonment issues because I have those better now than they used to be, but my fear is always has been of missing out on something or missing something or separation of something that I enjoy. So if I block somebody or if I remove somebody off of my friends list that is on there, I may miss something positive or something good about the relationship that could have existed, which I have now not allowed it to exist anymore. That is a real thing. Don't judge me for me. Um, so that thought is always in my mind. Like I have a lot of people I don't know on my Facebook. A lot of them I've learned a lot from and had really good relationships and friendships with, and I've met some of them in real life. If I start blocking people without truly knowing what their benefit or potential impact in my life could be positively, I worry about missing out on that. However, today I blocked my first two people ever on Facebook. I'm so proud.
Good.
Yeah. I was like, F off, bye. And I don't feel bad about it, and I didn't feel anxious about it either. So
Well,
I know how
it's
silly it sounds, but
yeah.
it's
No,
not.
it doesn't sound silly, but it's like I told you, like not giving a shit what people think doesn't mean not taking into consideration, like, constructive criticism, from people that you don't know or people that you do know. So long as it's constructive and it's trying to provide something, through it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But, if you're running into people that are doing nothing but causing, pain and, dismay and frustration and anger, by being destructive and not constructive, then those are the personalities that you don't want in your life. Those are the things that you don't want, you know?
It's just
And
it's stressful to think why somebody would find it necessary. And I know it's stupid to hash it, but why do people, and I know the answer to it, but why do people feel it necessary to say something that is so incredibly terrible um to somebody they don't know? It's like why? What do you get out of that? And I get that it's drama and I get that it's sadness with their own lives and I'm like, but if I was in a darker place and would have read some of those things, it could have put me in a bad spot. If, I'm a
mm-hmm,
pretty mentally healthy person as far as,
mm-hmm.
I've recognized where I have issues and I talk about them and I'm open about them. So, I'm fine with that. But it just, I can see why 15-year-olds, 16, 14, 13, get to the point where they have significant major depression from people they've never met. People don't realize that that can have that impact on somebody. They shouldn't be able to, but they do.
No, I
It's
think
just
I think
sad.
sadly the thing is like, I mean, the ideal situation is that the trolls, we're gonna just use trolls.
I like.
That's the term we're gonna use. Ideally, the situation is the trolls don't realize the pain that they're actually causing people, and they're doing it for shits and giggles. But sadly, I don't think the ideal situation actually exists. I think that the intention is to cause, as much grievance as humanly possible to other people
Yeah.
that they don't know. To know, because the way that I look at it is you have these people that have really nothing worth saying, no effect outside of their own circle, if that, if they're lucky, and want to feel like, they're important. And so it's the easiest way to make yourself feel important, well, is to grievance other people and cause a reaction and think that, well, this person doesn't even fucking know me and I'm getting under their skin, which is one of the reasons why I've always said I don't fucking care what people think about me. I don't. I like who I am. I'm happy with who I am. If you don't like me, guess what? Don't let the door hit you in the fucking ass on the way out. It's that fucking simple. Kick fucking rocks. Get the fuck out. You don't like what I have to say? You don't like my opinions. You don't like the way I look. You don't like the way I dress. You don't like the things that I believe in. You don't like the way that I do things. Any one of those fucking things that I just listed, you don't like any of them? I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit. Now, going back to the point, if there is constructive criticism, we're going to critique this, we're going to talk about this, and I think that we can make this better. Okay, I'll listen. You're trying to be constructive, you're trying to create something. But if you're going to come into my space, which is anything that involves direct contact with me, and you're going to try to be destructive of the things that I have around me, whatever that might be, because you have nothing fucking better to do in your goddamn life, get the fuck out of here. Go fuck yourself. Like, I mean, that's just my mentality. A little aggressive, maybe, but that's just how I think about it. You know, and it hurts me when I see people like Mystic, because Mystic's got a good heart. Mystic wants to help people. Mystic just said he doesn't want to miss out on any potential positivity that he might get out of somebody else, even if he doesn't know who they are. He's looking at it as like giving people the opportunity to shed some light and be, you know, better. And then you get a couple of pieces of shit that come in and say what they said to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shit like that pisses me off, because I know you're not a child, but you do have an air of innocence about you. You know, in certain things, you do have an air of innocence to you. And I'm going to be honest, people, like, if you find people that are older, like myself or Mystic, and you find that like air of innocence in someone, protect that shit, because that shit is fucking rare to find. Somebody still has that fucking air of innocence in their mind that, you know, humanity's a good thing, essentially. It's not a bad idea to have. But sometimes, because of that air of innocence, and I'm hoping you're going to give me a rebuttal on this. I'm not just talking about you. Because of that like air of innocence, sometimes they don't realize 100% when it's the correct time to say fuck you to somebody.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know that I necessarily feel the air of innocence. I can see that aspect of it. And I also can see people considering it a sense of naivety. But the truth is, I know it. And so it would be naive if I just put blinkers on, or blinkers. Yeah, I'm turning left. Whatever you call them.
Blinders.
Blinders, thank you. Jesus Christ, I've only had one glass. I'm waiting for another one. I still don't have one, but that's okay. I asked you out loud. Oh, so you're not even paying attention to podcasts. Great, just so you know.
Fucking
But
couples
anyway,
therapy
so like
101.
yeah. So it's like it's not necessarily like it's not necessarily the blinders. And and again, I don't know that I would call it innocence. It's more of hope. And I think at some point it's hard to not like if you let one or two, don't you need my glass?
Rook, wine aisle 2. Rook, wine aisle 2. Thank you.
Oh God. But I don't know. It's frustrating for me because I have uh I don't want to call it even that. Let me phrase it the right way. I have a lot of hope in people that, and my hope is when people say or do stupid things that they're either frustrated or need something that they're missing that they need in their lives. And I don't want to judge them for being that way. I don't want to judge even the individuals that said what they said. And when I responded back to them, I know my limit. Um, but I really want to know, why do you feel like that is the right thing to do? And what I fail to accept is that they just want to get a rise out of you. Like, and that is where the innocence and the naivety comes in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can not for the life of me believe that people just want to cause trouble without some type of underlying reason. And as my profession and my process, it's my job, even with psychiatric patients, to figure
Mm-hmm.
out what that reason is. But I can't do that in my personal life because it's taking away from what a limited time I have. So
Mm-hmm.
it almost harkens to the same thing where people define themselves by their profession, and that's how the world has been for a long time, and that's changing. People do not define themselves by what they do anymore. I do. I talk about it a lot. I define myself as a person who is desire to heal and help other people. Um, but I can't help those people that are coming in on Facebook telling me, for frick's sake, don't you dare have kids, because I posted that I'm frustrated about my dog chewing things. Like, that's the response. And that sounds so stupid and silly, but it just, I think even those people probably aren't nearly as terrible as they are, but for me, it's hard to allow it to be situational and not
Mm-hmm.
have to be the person to have the answer for them, because I have the answer for the people that I need to have it for.
Well, I think so. I'm going to bring like a little bit of kind of like spirituality and philosophy into it. So one of the reasons why I'm very kind of adamant about being, like considering myself a, philosophical Satanist, um, is so here. Let's go through it. So, for those that most of you probably already know, there is a section, the opening section, which are the 9 satanic statements, right? So, when we go through, the philosophy or the idea of the 9 satanic statements, so something that's kind of like um, important here is number 4 is kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. Now, this is directly harkens into kind of like the idea of, Christianity and Catholicism saying love thy neighbor. Um, but I think it can go a little bit deeper than that. I think, when we combine that one with number 4, number 6, which is responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. When we take those 2 points and we put them together, we're looking at a situation where is exactly what we're talking about here. What happened with Mystic is that instead of trying to be all forgiving, I don't pretend to forgive everybody, right? If you're an asshole to me, fuck you, and I will fucking publicly fucking smear you across fucking everything. You fucking piss me off, right? If you're a piece of shit, I have no fucking qualms with it. I don't fucking care. Because at the end of the day, I'm not concerned about your well-being. I'll say it to your fucking face. I'm not. I'm not concerned whether you're okay or you're not okay. If your only intention in your life is to cause me misery or cause me harm, why would I waste an iota of concern for your well-being? Why would I do that? And waste precious energy that I could be giving to people that actually deserve my time and energy.
Y- 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 You see where that's something that, to me, is not
Oh, I know
possible.
you're. I know
Yeah.
you're. I know. For you, that's. I'm not.
But here's the thing, though. Here's what's different. What fail at is separating, and I know, going back to the profession thing, I have to be that way for work, and I can still be that way, and I can still care about the well-being of those people that are treating me poorly, but I don't have to allow it to change or affect myself or my daily.
the problem is that it becomes when even if you say face and you pretend to give a shit, right? even if it's just like the medical well-being of an individual, and they treat you like shit, like just in a hypothetical, that line becomes blurred because you're
Yeah.
forcing, like when you force yourself to do something, people, you do bring yourself to a point of actually doing it. It is the epitome of kind of, help me with the word, god damn it, the word escapes me, manifestation. It is the epitome of manifestation, right? So if you force yourself to act or feel a certain way, okay, you will manifest that feeling. You
Of
will
course.
manifest it. Whether you want to or not, you will, because you're forcing yourself to do it.
You know,
Okay?
you put 15 years of being taught and practicing that if I am in the emergency room as a nurse and the patient comes through that an hour before called me an effing F without the word, I'm not
Uh-huh.
obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Got you.
spit on me, and I have to take care of them. So I have to come up with a way that I
To
can
cope.
still maintain myself.
It's
And
coping.
that is, well, it's not just coping. It's I truly have gotten to a place where I don't have pity for that individual, but I have still hope and faith in standing for myself
Mm-hmm.
that that's not maybe, that's just who they are. But the problem is I allow it to affect
Mm-hmm.
my
You
personal
do.
time, and
I
that's
get
where I
it.
don't balance it well, and I don't know that I ever can because the more I balance it, and maybe I can, I'm not gonna say never, but the more I balance it, the less I care about people as a nurse.
I
Like,
think I think
I'm starting to not care about people as a nurse because they're terrible. They're
mm-hmm.
terrible. People are terrible,
Yeah, they are. They
you
fucking
know?
are. And
And
sadly, people don't realize what they're doing to people like you that's in a position where you need to actually, at some level, give a shit about your patients. And the thing is like, we're in a situation here, where we're talking about, this is something that's highly important, spiritually and mentally. Um, you do what you have to do for work, right? But it breeds resentment because here you are
mhm,
trying to, be the best human being that you can be, trying to provide, a service that is a life or death kind of service, to someone so they're capable of, continuing their life when they're damning yours. And because you can't outwardly express that, that creates resentment. However, that resentment doesn't follow over to people that treat you like shit outside of your life. You still
yeah,
have that mentality that keeps rolling through saying, well, I need to take care of people. I need to take care of myself. Maybe they've got something positive to give me. No, most people don't have anything positive to give you. Like,
I
there are
wouldn't
a few people
I wouldn't
that
say
you're going,
most,
okay, in my
many.
experience, most, like, recently through conversations with a particular someone that I can't mention names, but recently through particular conversations that I've had with someone, going through my past and talking about things that have happened to me, I've realized how big of a piece of shit people have been to me. And it's something that I haven't really realized before until I started kind of going through this line and figuring out, why, these particular things, happened and how they happened and the things that people said to me and things like that. So, in my experience, my personal prerogative and perspective here, most people are pieces of shit, with a few exceptions of people that are honestly there to try to do something positive in your life and try to do something positive in their life.
I will challenge that when you're done, though.
Go for it. I'm done. Challenge it.
So while I do respect and understand for your experience that most people are assholes, to me that still to it still isn't the true evidence because look at the people in your chat, look at the people you talk to, look at the people that are around you. I think that the people that you gave the most power to, and I do because I do this, the people you give the most power to let you down the most. But that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that most people are that way because unfortunately, those people that take advantage of you and me and everybody else has somebody else in their life that they don't, that they rely on. And people don't recognize or realize um it's not a it's a me mentality. It's
Yep.
selfishness. It's all about their individual likes, and this is one of the things that kills me because I if I'm not gonna lie, if it comes down to me or you, and that's the only option, I'm picking me.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't
Like, I'm
expect you to do anything
not
else.
right. I'm not an idiot, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people think that I'm like, I'm not gonna lay down my jacket for you to walk across a puddle of water. Get your fucking feet wet
Mm-hmm. Or walk around the fucking thing. Don't be
or
fucking
walk around
lazy.
it. But from my experience, like people are very situational and they just don't recognize the impact that they can have on people, good or bad. It is
Mm-hmm.
extreme. It's a lot more than you think it does. There's a person that we share in common that hasn't been mentioned in a very long time that still has an effect on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm like, why does that matter? But it
Mm-hmm.
does. It does. It just does. And it just it that part of allowing people to get under my skin that well infuriates me. As I get older, I get more angry about it. I know my time is valuable. It's limited. Granted, I'm 40. Um, it's not like I'm dying tomorrow, but I could. But regardless, the time that I have is valuable, and I want to spend it with people that do care and do have some sense of care about other people and want to have them in their life. So I have found that the more that I like hold strong to that piece, the better I get people around me. But the more people outside can hurt. It stings more. But it certainly felt good to block, and I felt like I felt just so juvenile and so childish blocking somebody. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, Facebook, YouTube, Discord, games, chats, the social media, all of it. None of it is designed the way that I'm using it. You know, it is designed to build business, make money, and more and more and more and more and more. Human beings aren't designed that way. I don't use it that way, but these people that are using it that way, they're the ones that are following that process through. So good for them. I don't need that. But it does suck to be it's almost like, believing in Santa Claus and finally realizing that Santa Claus doesn't exist,
Mm-hmm.
yet you knew it all along, you just didn't want anybody to say it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's
No,
like,
I mean,
Jesus, what's the point? Because I mean,
you're
10,000,
right.
whatever, however many patients I've taken care of in my career have probably, wanted to murder me because I'm gay or, whatever the case is. That's just an easy one to target because, it actually happened.
Yeah, no,
But
you're right.
it's frustrating to people suck. Not all of them. There's a lot of good ones.
Stranger, Ave Satanas. Welcome.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Yeah. Uh, Santa isn't real. Yeah, Jay, Santa isn't real. Sorry to break it to you. Who eats the cookies? Then it was me. I broke into your house. I watched you sleep. Then I ate the cookies.
That's
Then I
sexy.
left. It was me. I'm sorry. um,
Watching somebody sleep is the sweetest and creepiest thing that exists. Isn't that funny?
hmm Well, I
Can't
mean,
watch
because
Brooke sleep. He snores so bad you would break up the freaking continent.
there was something that I was going to say at the beginning of like what you're talking about, and I completely forgot about it because I was actually paying attention to what you're saying. Um, so I completely forgot about what I was going to say, but doesn't matter. So I understand that not everybody is built. I don't want to say like built, but like not everybody is capable or wants to do things the way that I do things. And it's not to sit there and say that I don't have um, any faith in humanity. There are many things in humanity that give me faith in humanity, generally speaking. Um, but unfortunately, we have been brought to a crossroads of sorts in society. We have, whether you want to admit it or not. And it is sadly part of everything. It is a crossroads religiously. It is a crossroads politically. It is a crossroads socially and just kind of like, in general, right? And people are in a particular position where they are choosing one side or the other and not the middle ground. Now, the one thing that if you guys have been here hanging out, and you know me and you've seen my videos and my conversations prior, you know that my philosophy with debate is a learning experience. It's not to win. You don't go into a debate to win, right? You go into a debate to learn something about yourself that you previously didn't know. You go into a debate to win, and you've already lost because you're not going to learn anything. A learning experience. That's what we're doing. We're learning how to do things. Right? That's the whole point of everything. It's how to be better people. Sadly, we've reached a junction in society where everything has become divided. It has gone side or the other. And I'm not talking, bear with me, I'm not talking about left and right. We're not getting political, I promise. But even when we get into kind of like the religious aspect of it, there are many aspects inside of that, the gatekeeping inside of paganism in and of itself. You're Wiccan, you're Satanist, you're Norse pagan, you're this, you're that. Every single aspect of that, those individual choices, becomes a point of contention and becomes a point for somebody to try to create a divide, to try to create, some type of, separation between us. Obviously, the evangelical extremists that I have reacted to, and stranger, I fully consider LFM an evangelical extremist. She says she's not Catholic or Christian. I don't give a shit. The shit that
Doesn't
she's
matter.
spouting, it's the same thing as, John Ramirez. It's the same thing as fucking Dr. whatever. What was his name? Dr. what?
I don't know, but I remember the Baptista girl or
Yeah,
whatever.
Baptista also. You know, all of them are spouting the same shit that LFM is. LFM, as far as I'm concerned, is an evangelical extreme. Um, the only thing that she's looking for is some, you know, type of war, between people. Um,
So disgusting.
so yeah, it's just fucking bullshit. And this separation, like if you haven't realized, it's okay. It is okay. Let me say again. Let me say this into the microphone. It is okay. I promise. It is okay. Don't worry.
If you say
That
it's
it's
okay to
okay.
disagree, then I'm gonna scream.
No,
Okay,
it's
good.
okay to like revel in your individuality. It's okay to feel that and be proud of that and enjoy that part of yourself. It's okay. But when you take reveling in your individuality and what makes you you, and you start to push that onto other people, that's where the problem comes in. Because now you're trying to make other people like you. And if we go through history, the long list of people that have tried to make other people like them or make other people the way that they think that other people should be, has turned out to, create things like the fucking Holocaust, where 6 or 7 million fucking people died. And the rest of the world just kind of fucking looked on until Hitler decided to start trying to invade other places. And it's like, wait, that was a humanitarian crisis. Where was the rest of the world? Right? But hey, don't worry about it. If you have oil in your country, we're there. We're there. We're there. Don't worry. Don't worry. You got black gold? Aha. We're there. We want to help you. That's what we want to do. Now bend over and take this dick.
Hey, at least black gold is slick.
Yeah,
You're
right.
gonna need that lube.
So it's just kind of like it's just kind of irritating, like when you kind of think of like the overall kind of like idea and concept of everything, and then when you look at society today, we think that we're standing up for something. You think like when we look at like the extreme left and we look at the extreme right, and we look at like the extreme religious sectors, the evangelical extremists, and then like the gatekeepers on the end of the occultists and things like that. You think like we have this purist idea Everyone, everyone has this purist idea. Now, purist can be taken in different, you know, ways, right? We could look at it. We could look at it like the Hitler way, the Aryan race, purists, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. Completely fucking racist on all goddamn levels. But that's one way of looking at purist. And then the other way to look at purist, if we look at it the religious side, is maybe we're super traditional. Maybe we think, well, you have to do this and you have to call the corners and you have to draw the circle. You have to do that, right? You have to do all of these things. So you're being a purist, right? Or being a political purist, right? Well, we need to save all nations. We need to do all. If you don't start looking at a fucking middle ground, we are going to end up eating each other alive. That's the only thing that's going to happen.
And you don't, well, this is a dumb statement because I already know the answer to it. You don't think we're already there? Like we're halfway into that. And I know
We're
like
pretty we are on. We're on the cusp. We're on the cusp. Get it yourself.
yes, I need more too. Like I want to just go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that we're on the cusp of that. I think that there's still things that we can do actively, because if we take into the idea that we're already there, then the thing is then people are going to be like, well, then there's nothing we can do to stop it, so we're just might as well just feed into it more. And the thing is that's not what society needs. Society doesn't need people to feed into that shit more. Society needs people to start to kind of tries to pull us the fuck out of it. But the thing is, if we don't find a middle ground to sit on all of these things that I'm talking about on some level at some point soon, it's all going to burn to the fucking ground. Everything you fucking love is just going to be burnt to the fucking ground. Because we're not going to be able to agree on a goddamn thing.
So I mean, I personally think that we're past the cusp. I think we are already on the other side of it, on the road. It's just a long road. I feel like there is a lot of positive, like not positivity, but a lot of there are a lot more people that are finding a more positive forward motion towards things that are middle ground, but they don't have any traction. There's no widespread, it's very pocketed, it's very separate. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what scares me because it's that separation that's holding everybody back. Like even just watching something yesterday on TV, it was an ad. It was I don't know, I think it was a Democrat ad or whatever, but it's like said something along the lines of they're stealing our blah blah and they're trying to take advantage of you and they're trying to do they are the enemy. I'm like, well, they're not the enemy. Nobody's the enemy. Like what is this crazy? People are crazy. And it goes with political, it goes with religious, it goes with
Mm-hmm.
all of it. I have somebody in my life who is extremely Christian. And I say extremely Christian, not extremist Christian, but extremely Christian. Um, will tell me they'll pray for me. They tell me they'll, do all these things for me. And I'm fine with it because I know that they're not saying it in the way that people say, like, oh, I'll pray for you. You know what I mean? She's like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
having a hard time, I'll say a prayer for you. I'm like, I appreciate that because this person believes in their spirituality and they are very strong in it and they feel really good about it. But their method to me or their message to me from the first time I met them, I don't care what you believe, Brian. I don't care if people know me. I don't care what you believe as long as you believe in something. Because if you don't believe in anything, that's when we're really screwed. Like if you stop believing in anything, we're done. But as long as you believe in something, you're my friend. You believe in something. I don't care. She's like, I don't care if you believe in Cerberus with the five-headed dog. I don't believe in Cerberus. You do. You believe in it. You think it's going to make things good. It gives you morality and ethics.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is that so hard? I don't have to change her. She doesn't have to change me. We can have conversations all the time. We don't argue. It's easy. We don't fight. It's amazing to me to think that there are so many people that literally find pity on you because your belief system is different than theirs, and that creates that rift. Now, like I said, I do think it's confusing because there's this whole new age and there's a huge uptick in witchcraft and witch visibility, which I think is a good thing, despite the fact that there's a lot of gatekeeping in it. There's a lot of problems with that, and a lot of it is, just surface witchcraft. I'm not going to judge somebody for that as long as they're at least trying to learn more or find more out about it. But when they're
Right.
okay with just the surface scratching, that's when I get kind of like, look, if you're gonna say you're into witchcraft and you're a witch and you're like, at least I don't care what kind, just study something, learn something,
Mm-hmm.
experience something. Don't just, well, I read the beginner's guide to witchcraft. I'm a third degree dedicant now, which kind of circles back to our previous conversation. Experience it, take the time with it, literally go out and sit in the freaking grass and see what you see, feel what you feel. Don't just let it be what it is. And that's, I
Mm-hmm.
think, part of the problem is you learn
Right.
that little bit in piece, politically, religious, whatever, and
Yep.
you're that. One thing you like about the Republican or Democratic Party, and you're that person because that's what they believe, and then now because of that, you have to believe everything on that platform. Like that's not how this is supposed to work. Two-party system is exactly why politics completely sucks in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
at least. But without going into politics, it's the same thing with spirituality, witchcraft, and all that stuff. It comes down to, you can have your beliefs without gatekeeping others, but you can also share your beliefs without hubris. That was my entire lesson last year, was getting over my own hubris of stop trying to fix everybody's problem. You've got to learn too, you idiot. And that was my message. It took a
Yeah.
year to get it.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So yeah.
And it's just like, and understand something. Like when I sit here and I say that I don't give a shit what other people think about me, it's not to say that, I don't, that I hate those people, right? That I hate people that think certain things about me or say certain things about me. I don't hate people. I mean, there's a very short list of people that I might consider saying that I hate, but, like one or two people. But I don't hate people. But if you're going to be an asshole, I don't want you in my life. That's your choice. You want to be an asshole? Go right ahead. Be an asshole. Have fun. Fucking, knock yourself the fuck out. But if you're going to try to bring me down in the process, no, I'm not going to let it happen. It's not going to happen. It's that simple. That doesn't mean I hate you. I believe that everybody should be allowed to do what they do. And here's the thing. One of the biggest problems, and this is going to sound political, but it's not political. This runs deep into fucking everything. If you pay attention to the gatekeeping and the hatred and the sides inside of everything, inside of religion, inside of politics, inside of, pretty much everything, right? There are a few exceptions, but the basis of the argument that everyone provides for any fight is, I believe this and you believe that, and what you believe is wrong.
Yep. No argument there.
That is the fundamental, nitty-gritty, fucking basic argument that every single person presents. Who the fuck are you to tell me I'm wrong? Unless, of course, it's a confirmable fact. Like if it's like a scientific fact that you can confirm with scientific evidence, like the fact that the Earth is round. Right?
Let's not go there. I mean, that circles back around to the comment I made earlier about my friend who prays for me. I don't get mad about it. She's not she's not mean about it. She's not inappropriate about it. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no expectation that I do that. And if I say to you, well, I'm going to do a rain dance for you, she'll be like, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that you're thinking
and
about
exactly,
me positively.
that's a perfect example. Example. Because here's the thing. So he's a pagan that has a Christian saying, I'm going to pray for you. Now, you can choose to take that one of two ways. You can choose that as a person that believes in God, saying that they want to do a positive thing for you with their God, and pray for your well-being. Or you can take that as an offensive remark to say that they're trying to force their religion down your throat, which I would disagree, because they didn't say that you should pray for you. They said, I'm going to pray for you.
It depends on the context, too. Like, if they just called me a heathen crack addict and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, don't pray for me, honey. Yeah.
It's circumstantial, of course, So, the thing is like, if somebody wants to pray for you, let them. They're doing you a favor, because your God is not their God, and they have faith in their God, and they believe that their God will bring things to you if they pray for you. Allow them to do it. They bring you good fortune. But if you're going to turn around and say, no, fuck you, don't fucking pray for me, it's not my God, it's yours,
Yeah,
Who's being the asshole?
that's the
You or
problem.
them? You are.
Mm-hmm.
Take the opportunity to sit back and look in the mirror before you open your mouth with shit like that. Because it is a
Yep.
very thin line to walk when we're dealing with these types of things. And it's very easy for you to become the piece of shit in the situation.
And I think people we all do, and probably can look back and see where we've been that person a couple times, but hopefully you can identify it and do something to change. Because I mean, I was the same way. I was young, well, I wouldn't say younger, but I mean, technically, yeah, it would be younger because last year I was younger. But I mean, I've done stuff like that. I've been that way. There's a point where I was just so fed up with everything that's what you do. You say, like, what, don't effing pray for me. I don't believe in your God. That's rude, blah, blah. And then you realize, like, actually, it's just really nice that you thought enough that you were gonna try to, put some effort
Mm-hmm.
into considering me, and
I mean,
it
obviously,
just
they turn around. I'm going to pray for you to save your soul because you're a
uh-huh, yeah.
sinner and a heathen. Well, then we're in a whole
If you
different ball game.
if you're praying for me because of my, who I'm
Beliefs.
married to or my belief system, yeah, then that's one thing. But if you're praying for me because I have a sick dog or because I'm sick or because something's going on or if I'm stressed, sure, pray for me. That's fine. That's not offense. And I will tell you, I was that I just was so averted to the word prayer. Like I don't like it. I associate that with a issue, with the church I was in, but then I had to realize over time, and this is something you realize over time, that it's not about that anymore. It's about the individual. And you really do judgment. You have to. I'm might get hate mail for this one, but you have to judge people. Judgment is necessary for our safety and
I'd like
security
to.
of our individuals.
Also, another thing, I'm sitting here thinking, like another thing that I'd like to kind of expand on a little bit. So when I was talking about kind of like the whole purist idea, right, of being pure inside of something, notice a pattern, right, with people that want to be purists. Most of them are pieces of shit. Most of them, like the Hitler reference I gave, definite piece of shit, right?
Yeah, it wasn't even a member of his purest.
Exactly. It's
Makes
purest
no
ideal.
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, um, the people that gatekeep and tell you that you need to do things a certain way, otherwise you're not doing it right and you won't get results, even though it feels right to you. Not helping anybody, creating issues. When you create a purist idea or what you believe to be purist, if you in your head can sit there and say this is pure, please think about it twice before you present it to anybody else, because chances are what you believe to be pure is going to hurt or harm somebody else, whether it be emotionally, mentally, or even physically. So don't present your purest ideas. If you have a
I've
purest
never.
idea, keep it to yourself
I
because it's
just. I
pure for
don't.
you.
I don't understand the whole concept. Like, I mean, I know what it means, and
Mm-hmm.
I understand history, but I don't emotionally or cognitively. That's wrong. Emotionally or there's another word that I need to use, but I can't think of it. Emotionally is fine. I don't emotionally understand the idea behind that because it's like, didn't anybody ever tell you nobody's perfect? Like, it's simple statement. Nobody's perfect. That is a true statement.
Yep.
Like, where can you go from there
To
to
reach
think? And
purest.
that's with everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
I mess up at work all the time. I mess up at home all the time. I do stupid things. I make bad decisions. I get frustrated. I have emotions that aren't appropriate for the situation I'm in. Human beings are the most imperfect thing that exists. When you look at animal world and the animal kingdom, they're the perfect. They are designed to do the thing that they are designed to do, and they do it. We're the screw ups. So what necessity is there for purism in any shape and form, whether it is a pure form of your religion, like you were talking about earlier, like traditional versus non-traditional? What makes the fact that you have a parent who is a witch make you a stronger witch? Um, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but what benefit does that have to the individuals involved? None. Zero. Zip. If you come from a line of 30 witches and I don't, that doesn't affect my life. And so I don't I can't wrap my brain around the idea of something that's pure or perfect or right, I guess. Righteous probably is the better term.
Well, so Stranger's actually putting something in the chat that I think is kind of important to cover. I think we
Yeah,
should.
I've been reading that.
So it says people who are religious kill thousands of people, but on TV and on the news, the title says Mr. ABC killed these people. But if a Satanist or a Luciferian kills an insect, the news channel says a Satanist or Satanist ABC killed an insect. They don't think people like us are humans. So this is something that the media has been doing for I don't know how long, since the inception of the media. And as much as I don't like to talk about political things, the best example that I can provide here is I'm going to provide a racist example of the media here. So go back to the 90s, 80s, I don't know, 70s, 60s, whatever the fuck you want to, right? Recently, it's kind of changed a little bit, but go back to like the 90s, early 2000s, 80s. If a white guy commits a crime, it's a man committed a crime. A man committed a crime. If a black man, however, committed a crime, the media would very quickly jump on a black man committed a crime, specifying the race. Now, why do you think that is? Besides the fact that society in and of itself, especially American society, is, has racism ingrained in it. Well, because it gets ratings. It's a call to action. It pulls people in. Right?
It reinforces their own racist opinion.
Exactly. So by using the adjective that describes the color of the person within the news story and not the other, most people at the time, including myself, didn't pick up on it. But what that does to society is that perpetuates an ingrained idea into society that makes society hate that thing that they're talking about and automatically creates a systemic fear of that. And what happens when we're afraid of something? We hate it. We want to kill it.
Protect it.
Exactly. So that's what happens. And that is the intention, right? I mean, they did it for ratings without realizing, I think, at that particular junction, what it was actually doing overall in society. Because they knew that if they put in the title, Black Man Does This, more people were reading, more people were watching, more people wanted to see what was happening. So there's that part of it. Now let's go to the religious part of it. Let's go to the Satanist part of it. Ever since the Satanic Panic in the 80s, the term Satanist, I mean, think about me, for example. I'll sit here and say I'm a philosophical Satanist. Of all the times that I have sat here on this channel and I have said I am a philosophical Satanist, how many people have turned around and actually said, oh, he's a philosophical Satanist? Not a single one. They turn around and say, he's a Satanist. No, my dear friend, you did not pay attention. The only thing you heard in that sentence was Satanist. Pay attention. Open your ears. You have them for a reason. I am not a Satanist. I am a philosophical Satanist. There is a very grand and distinct difference between the two. One is theistic, one is philosophical. Fucking duh. But most people don't get it. So if a satanic group or person that is known to be Satanist commits a crime or does anything, the obvious choice for any news organization, as we live in a capitalist and media-driven society, would be to put the term Satanist at the beginning, at the top, in bold, big, bold print for that story. Why? Because that's going to be the thing that's going to pull more people in. They don't give a shit about the crime. They give a shit about who committed the crime. and its connections to Satanism. So then they can go to work and church and sit around and gossip and bullshit with their friends, and they say, "Do you see what the Satanists are doing? Do you see what these evil people are doing? They're killing God's country. They're
They're doing
destroying
more good
God's
than anybody
country."
else.
You know, exactly. They are. Just look at the Satanic Temple.
Menstruation with Satan. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a really
So
good thing.
the thing is so long as society continues to be completely and utterly based upon profit and not the betterment of society, we will continue to have these problems racially, systemically, religiously, and socially. These problems will not get better. They will get worse. They will alternate hands at certain points. But these problems will continue to be bad. They will get worse. And they will destroy lives. Why? Because we are a society that is based off of personal profit. We are not a society that is based off of the progression of society itself. And so long as we're not concerned with the progression of society itself, technologically, spiritually, intellectually, philosophically, education, all of these things, as long as we're not concerned about those things and that isn't our sole purpose in life and existence to the betterment of society, and through the betterment of society we can better ourselves, so long as that's not a focus, we will continue to see this. Again, it'll change hands, it'll flip around, but the story's the same even though the faces change. So what do you want to do? You want to be a part of the solution? You want to be part of the problem?
Is this a vote? So it's really sad, but I think the even bigger than the financial problem is the need for people to have an image of success, regardless of whether success is there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's there's such a need to be better than somebody else. And I was always taught, thankfully, and still try to do this as much as possible, to use what you've been blessed with in ways that help other people. If you have it, give it if you can, if you need to. And
Mm-hmm.
you only judge yourself based off of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I know it's so cliche. Just be better than today than you were yesterday.
But it's so
But
true,
it's
though.
true.
It
Yeah,
is.
it
It
really is. If
be
you,
like whatever you do. I'm sorry. Whatever you do
yeah.
today that you did better than yesterday is a win.
Yep. And if you don't, if you try, but you fail to be better today than you were yesterday,
At least you tried.
it's okay. Yeah. And when you live that way, generally speaking, not always, because some shit just get a bad hand. But when you live that way and you try to do things in that manner, no matter how many times you fail, things usually work out pretty well for you in the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you are comfortable with the value that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think it's important to have your house perfect. One of the things that I say a lot, if somebody's coming over, we need to clean a little bit. Yeah, sure. And it's kind of messy, but our house is lived in. We live in it. It looks lived in. It provides us what it's supposed to provide us. It gives us what we need. We enjoy it. The same thing with religion. It's the same thing with spirituality. It's the same thing with your belief system. It should be lived in. It should not always be perfectly clean. It should not always be exactly what it always has been. Is that means you're not living in it. You're not adjusting it. You're not taking it into account with all the changes that life gives you. I don't see myself being in nursing 10 years from now. There's no way unless something changes. And that thing is probably not going to change. It's going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
But while I'm in it, I'm going to be the best at it I can be until I'm not. And that's, just a thing. But it still blows my mind that it is so important to have more, be more than somebody else.
Yep.
Like, why is that the goal? Like, because
Well, I
it's
mean,
so true. We we
that
we all
that
die. We're all
that
leaving the
has
same way.
become that has always been the goal. I mean, even like it's like if you go back to the 50s, the 20s, the 30s, You know, we would back. I mean, you look at like the 50s and 60s. It's always been kind of based around whoever was kind of like the talk of the town at that time. It could have been Rothschild. It could have been any of the big bankers. At one particular junction. It could have been people that ran, the railroad. I'm saying that because there's a train going by right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Like it could have been, especially in the era of, social media, one thing that we haven't kind of like, processed yet and fully understand is, human society. First and foremost, tribal mentality is a thing. Okay, let's break this down. Tribal mentality is a thing. Human beings are designed to work inside of small groups. Okay, small tribalistic groups, which is why we generally, all of us, have a core group of friends that we consider trustworthy and people that we can rely on. That's your tribe, right? You can look at it however you want, but like if you look at like the actual nature of it, that is your tribe. Generally speaking, that turns out to be your family for most people. For others, it's your chosen family. But either way, you look at them as family. So that's the first thing off the bat. Most of the time within a tribe, you looked at the tribe as your family. You looked at people that as at the people in your tribe as reliable people to you. That if you required their assistance, they're going to be there. The human brain and human nature has never been designed to deal with access to millions and millions of people at one time. It's just that simple. We are not designed that way to process that much incoming information. We're not. So what is happening, the reason why suicide and depression and things like that have increased tenfold since the incarnation of social media or social networking is due to the fact that what do you share when you take a photo, something we learned very long ago from fucking MySpace. Okay, what do you upload when you upload to Instagram? What do you upload when you upload to Facebook? What do you upload when you upload to any fucking platform other than maybe fucking Twitter?
Your soul?
You upload the good things that are happening in your life. You upload the positive things that are happening in your life because those are the things that you want everybody to see. Now, to the people that are looking at that, for you, that is just a glimpse, a blip, a moment in your life that may or may not be significant or insignificant. But you felt it good enough to share with the rest of the world, literally. What happens to the people viewing that maybe don't have, certain things that are positive happening in their life? The consumers, generally speaking, the consumers of the content creation, what happens to them is that them from the outside begin to look in and say, well, I want that life, not knowing the things that you're going through, not knowing the things that I'm going through, not knowing that 2 weeks ago I was ready to kill myself. People don't see that. They don't see that part. Why? Because that's not the part that I upload. I don't upload that part.
Yeah, you don't have a filter for it.
Exactly. So what happens is when people see that, it increases their depression, and it creates scenarios where we have people in depression and people that want to kill themselves, and it's just a general society of people that are fucking pissed and upset because they don't understand why their life is so difficult and everyone else has everything, when in reality, they don't. But that's what sells. And we know that sells. Why do we know that sells? We actually know that from Microsoft. Thank you, Microsoft.
So lovely.
So Microsoft did a wonderful amount of research about how to sell operating systems and software. And part of that research discovered that by showing images of people using said software or said hardware, making their lives easier and smiling and being happy, creates more sales. These happy moments, that being productive. Have you ever wanted to be more productive in your life? And you go to Google and you type productivity software. And you open up a website and there's a picture of a bunch of people in an office writing graphs that mean absolutely fucking nothing on a goddamn whiteboard with a computer that nobody's fucking looking at, with the piece of software that you want to pay for, showing that they're super productive and they're doing amazing fucking things and making millions of fucking dollars because they have that piece of software. It's the same reason you get off on porn. It's the same reason that when you watch porn, a big erect dick gets you going.
It does.
Because of the psychological aspect of it.
Of course.
It's the same thing. And excuse me if I'm making you feel uncomfortable, but this is just the fact of the matter. There's no getting around it. There's a reason why watching porn gets you aroused. Because of the psychological aspect of it. Because that is what you want. You want to be productive. You want to be rich. You want to be fucking. You want to be eating that big juicy fucking hamburger from Chili's. You want these things. And every single thing that is thrown into your face is a fucking lie. Because the hamburger never looks as good as it does in the picture. The dick is never as big as it is in the porn. And the software never functions as well as it does in the fucking pictures either. So it doesn't matter what you look at or what you're trying to buy. It's all tactics. It's all manipulation.
It's the Matrix.
It's all bullshit. That's not to say that you shouldn't buy anything, that you should, forget like fucking, consumer society. But it's to say to be more aware of yourself.
It's the Matrix. I'm not kidding.
To a point. I mean, to a degree.
It is. I'm not kidding. It's the falsity that we have created what life looks like to everybody else, which is not what life actually is. Which is one of the reasons why I love making the videos that we've been making with Rook and Joy and everybody. It's just like, it's us screwing shit up. It's so much fun because you can put anything out there that you want. You can be somebody you're not. You can be my Facebook got my best pictures on it. I don't put every picture up there.
Mm-hmm.
There are some pictures I will not put up there. My nose is crooked. It drives me nuts. So we choose what we put out there and we make this persona, and that persona, all it does is perpetuate exactly what we're trying to not do. If we really put everything on Facebook that was how our lives really are, it would be boring to most or extremely depressing. But when you find groups of people that have similar flaws that you do or have experienced similar things that you do, you tend to find a little bit more happiness and camaraderie and that expectation that perfection's not the goal. Facebook, online, media, news, all of it, that's not where to find it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it kind of goes to this. Think of it this way. The people that are uploading happy moments are uploading happy moments because they're going out into the world and finding happy moments. The people that are pressed are the people that are sitting there watching other people's happy moments and not actually going out to make their own happy moments. So if you want to be one of those people on Instagram that people want to follow, I mean, hypothetically, I'm not trying to give fucking career advice here. Go find happy moments. Stop watching other people's lives unfold in front of you on your fucking 6.5 inch screen, and go make your own life unfold in front of you. Create a happy moment and then share that happy moment and give it to the world and say, I'm proud of myself. And then tell them to go get their happy moment. Stop watching your shit. Because they need their own happy moments, even if they don't upload it to IG or Facebook or wherever.
Hate Instagram.
It used to be my favorite platform when it was just like focused on art. Now it's just, it's completely changed its direction. I mean, unintentionally. Also.
Every single thing I post on there, I get like 900 replies. Promoted on blah blah. Promoted on blah blah. I'm like, no, you promoted on blah blah. I'm just putting a picture up, bitch.
Yeah,
Gotta
I'm
stop
starting to
that.
get those too. That's like a new thing that's just irritating. You promote it here. It's like, no, I'm not gonna fucking promote my shit. Man. It's like, I'm not
No,
trying to do that. It's just like, just uploading my shit and fucking, whatever. But we weren't designed to have this amount of contact, people. We weren't. Like this the amount of contact that we have with the world, the amount of connections that we have or that we're capable of creating, we were not designed to do this. We simply were not.
not not only that, but look, I was thinking the other day about I like to learn new things.
Yeah.
I like just random shit. I enjoy it. I learn, we're getting solar put on our house.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know how photovoltaic cells work. I want to learn how that process and goes. And you look it up, and it's like, if I wanted to do this when I was in high school, I would have had to drive to the library, go through the Dewey Decimal System in the index, find the reference section, pull about 25 books, go sit on a table, open those 25 books and go through this. The fact that information is so readily available and it's not validated, that alone makes people think it's beneficial and makes things so much better, but all it does is time crunch your brain into having to function at a speed it wasn't designed to go. So you can fill every minute with information and you don't have to work hard to get that information. Then you have to process that information and it just goes so fast. I honestly think it sounds terrible, but the internet is truly going to take us into the next age and continue to do so, but it's also going to be the reason why we fail eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's done great things, it's brought people together, it's made conversations like this possible,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
so has
exactly.
the
Yeah.
actual problem. These conversations exist because of the background problems it's created.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and don't misunderstand me either. Like, I mean, one of the people that I find like that I hold most absolute, like most special to me in my life right now,
Shit.
I met through social media. Um, I mean, Mystic, you're my best friend, but I'm not talking about you.
Well, I wasn't choking on your never mind.
um, so there's definitely, you know, positives to it.
It has enriched our lives and replaced and given us things back that we've missed, but it's actually been the cause of missing those things in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, one of the things that bothers me, like, dude, I'm sorry, like, call me in a fucking old ass fart, you know. Um, but when I watch these concerts online, like newer concerts, and I see everybody fucking record, like everybody in the audience recording it and looking at their phone,
Oh, that drives me nuts.
it's like, motherfucker, you can
Turn the
watch the
video.
artist anytime you want on a screen through fucking YouTube. You are in front of this person right now. You are in front of them. And this is the problem with social media. So social media has created a planet of people that think that recording the moment to share with everyone else is the most important aspect instead of actually living the moment. Learn how to tell a fucking story at the dinner table. Have a conversation. Put the screen down. Even right now, like, I'm being honest, it's late. It's 9:38, 10:30, 1 o'clock, other places. I don't know what time it is for you right now. You could be 7 hours ahead. You could be on point with me. If you're watching this right now and you're sitting at the dinner table and you got family or friends there,
I'm gonna turn that shit off.
or you're someplace where there's other people in front of you, stop fucking listening to me. Put the fucking screen down and enjoy each other's company. Do it. Stop watching me. You got kids? Your kids are running around, right? You need to pay attention to them. You're trying to pay attention to me. Stop paying attention to me. Pay attention to your kids. They need you. I don't. Put the fucking screen down. 30 minutes a day. It's sad. It's sad because before we used to have a screen to our face maybe 30 minutes a day. Maybe an hour, 2 hours at most, watching our TV show. You want to sit down, watch fucking Seinfeld or Friends. You know, that was the thing that you did. Now we need fucking reminders in the apps to tell you to put your shit down? To tell you how long you've been fucking using it? Come on, guys. Come on.
Anybody remember when TLC actually had like learning stuff on it?
Does anybody remember when MTV actually had fucking music?
Yeah. I miss those. Man, before when I was in middle school watching the what did they call that thing? The thing they did every summer, and they'd replay it and it'd be on in the morning. I'd have to get my fill of Eric Nies. That was fun.
Not 100% sure what you're talking about, but I got an idea.
Mm-hmm. Lots of people with no clothes on, just about.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
But I digress. I agree. I mean, it's. I get it that we're in a digital age and it's going to get worse, but I mean,
but we're getting to the point where we're trying to replace human interaction. We're not trying to work and make human interaction better. Like, so I watched a thing yesterday, not yesterday, but a few days ago, about sex dolls. Right? I remember when a sex doll used to be a blow-up doll that used to throw around at a party. Okay?
oh, I know where this is going.
Because it had no other fucking better fucking purposes. They are so fucking realistic now that they've have them pre-programmed to respond to you when you speak to them.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm not judging anyone. It's not my place to judge. If that's what you need, that's what you need. But if you are seriously thinking about using a piece of pre-programmed robotics to replace human interaction, this is the opposite of therapy, people. This is the opposite of getting better. Okay? These types of situations, all right, have you ever heard the term enabling? We know that enabling is a bad thing, right? Like, generally speaking, when we talk about enabling somebody's bad behaviors, it's like taking an alcoholic to a bar. Right? We know that the alcohol is killing them. We know that it's causing a problem in their life, but you're going to bring them to a bar anyway because that's where you want to hang out. You're enabling the issue. You're becoming part of the problem. For people that have issues with social interaction, less social interaction isn't the solution. Buying a robot that will fuck you and talk to you is not a solution. It's not. Hate me if you fucking want to. It's not a solution. Do what you got to do in the moment that you got to do it. But don't fucking cut yourself off completely. Social media exists on the basis that we are social creatures. Understand the terminology. It used to be called social networking, to network with people, to get to meet new people. That didn't work because when you meet new people, you generally, hey, let's go to the bar, let's go hang out, let's go do this, let's go do the next thing, right? Now you're no longer on social networking. So it became social media. Go back to the early 2000s. What was Facebook called? It's a social network. What was MySpace called? A social network. What's it called now? Social media. Why do you think that is? Because it is a more accurate description of what it has changed into being. It is a site designed to keep you glued to the fucking screen. Because when the site and the service is free for you, you are the fucking product. You are the thing being sold. That is what is happening. You are the product. Your information, your time, your likes, you are the fucking product. You're not using the product, you are the product. They just found a really fucking ingenious way to give you all the information about your life without even fucking thinking about it. And I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I realize that shit. But I can tell you right now, finding my real name, hard as fuck. Hard as fuck to find my real name. Figure out where I live, exactly where I live, not very fucking easy. Because my connection to the online world is what you see here. It's Mr. fucking Malice. That's my connection to the online world. I don't even have a fucking Facebook profile with my real name on it. So we really need to think about where we're putting our time and our energy. Because you're glued to this fucking screen non fucking stop for every fucking reason, for work, for pleasure, for fucking everything. When was the last time that you actually sat down to have a conversation with your family over dinner and not picked your phone up to check a message, an email, or a notification? Bet you any amount of fucking money, it's been a long ass time. Those types of social interactions are just as important as the social interactions we have online. And we're losing touch with those social interactions. They're becoming few and far between. Physical, one-on-one interaction. They understand that we're social creatures, which is why it's called social media. Because human beings are social by design. We require social habits. Just something to think about. Anything to add?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Nah.
You agree? Disagree?
Well, I mean, work and I had dinner tonight. We didn't pick up our phones. So today.
Well, I mean, there's exceptions to the rule.
I don't know. I think most of it I agree with as far as social media and just the whole nine yards. Um, with one, I don't necessarily see it as a fully negative thing. You know, I mean, I'm on my phone a lot. I also socialize a lot though, and I socialize a lot off of connections I've made using Facebook, which I know is not your point specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the problem is that that's not the majority, that's the minority. But regardless, this is where it's heading.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's no stopping it now. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I
it's not going
do
to
wish
stop.
that people were a little more. I don't want to say um, honest, but a little more realistic with their experiences with
Mm-hmm.
what they do. And I wish that like for example, the use of technology to facilitate social interactions is great. That is not social media.
Mm-hmm.
FaceTiming my mom, for
Yep.
example. That technology has really, really improved our ability to stay in contact and have discussions and get to see her more often because she lives 1,100 miles away. I guess I live 1,100 miles away. Work socializes me, which is a separate thing. But what really socializes, or what really helps me socialize, what really gives me the meets my needs socially, is my spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
It was deciding to pick up and physically go to a Unitarian church and meet the Cups group and make friends in that group. If it weren't for that, um, we would be very isolated. But I think people confuse the connection between technology as a means to communicate and socialize versus social media.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'll be honest, at this point, like, I really want to get rid of Facebook, but I don't because my mom's on there, my sister's on there, most people I communicate are friends. Somehow I've allowed myself to get people on my social media that are not people I know. And some people would say that, limiting that creates an echo chamber, but that depends on how you decide as an individual to use social media. So I think the big discussion factor, the big piece is for social media is if you use it, if you process it, if it's somewhere that you're going to engage in, you need to set your own expectation of what you're using it for and be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
our it's like for YouTube for us is very specific case need, like very specific use. Facebook for me has pretty much been all about my dogs and staying in touch with my family until recently, and I've allowed that whole mess to happen. That's changing. But
Right.
in the end, it is where things are going, and it's very, very unfortunate, I think, overall. But it is important to figure out how to maintain your social needs.
Mm-hmm. No,
You know,
exactly. No, I mean, and I'm not saying that technology doesn't have its place, but obviously we're not.
technology
We're,
versus media. Yeah,
yeah, it's just finding ways to connect with each other was always the point. That was the point of everything. That's where the internet started. That's where Google started. That's where Apple started. That's where email started. It was all about communication. That was the main point, the main focus. I mean, guys, take the time. Go back into the old advertising. Go see what it was about. It was about communication. It was about connecting with each other. Now it's about
not
promoting
anymore.
products.
Hmm.
And that's the sad thing. And what happens is the sad thing is so we get streamers advertising G Fuel and other shit like that, trying to get, the people watching them to buy it. And what it succeeds in more is creating an entire group of people that also want a G Fuel sponsorship. It creates an idea that, well, if I upload enough photos and my photos are cool enough and I get enough people following me, then companies will just give me free shit. It's killing personal work ethic of earning something. We want to get everything for free. We don't want to put the work in to get it. And I'm not saying that social media isn't work. It is work. But some people have it and some people don't. And the unrealistic expectation that it's setting to young people that, well, I can do this and I can get 100,000 fucking followers and I can get fucking 1,000,000 fucking followers and I can get free shit. And then when it doesn't happen in 6 months, like getting a free chihuahua or rat dog, it's a rat dog. When that doesn't happen, what do you think that does to the mental state of the person trying to achieve those things? It creates a massive depression. That's what it does. It creates a hole. Now, how is all of this relevant to spirituality, you might be asking? When we
We're gonna
think
talk
about
about witch
tribes,
talk.
you want to talk about that?
No, I just was asking if we are because I don't want to.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay, good. Thank God.
So, how does all of this apply to spirituality? One of the primary things that made a tribe in any culture were their spiritual beliefs. Rat dog. So one of the things that made a tribe was spiritual belief. Spiritual belief is what was kind of like at certain junctions in history was the glue that held tribes together. Right? Like the worship of a rat dog, just like, like what Mystic is doing because he thinks it's fucking Simba.
Madavenya Bugagitiwa. Okay, I'm sorry.
Poor
Maybe I
dog.
need another
Like
glass
he's
of
just
wine.
bobbing her up and fucking down.
She's
I
been in
like
my
how
lap
they're I like
nonstop
how
all
they're
day.
I like how their heads move like chickens. Like when you move them around, they just kind of go.
Oh, she does really good with that. She's not doing it as much.
It's like a fucking gimbal. You could put a camera on her head. Oh no, she looks like she's gonna fall asleep. You need to cut that dog's nails.
Yes. She's got a lot of anxiety with it. We're trying a new grinder, so we're getting one at a time.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
that dog has some long ass nails. I can just imagine how that sounds on the floor. Get stuck on the rug.
We'll see if any of the other cheese come in to say hi.
But yeah, so it's definitely something that we need to kind of like we need to work on, because spiritually speaking, what held tribes together was, the spirituality, what they all believed in. That was the glue that held their societies together. Were the rituals that they performed and things like that. As society began to expand and a general idea of belief began to become accepted, that began to create problems when there were people within your shire or your area or your neighborhood or whatever that believed in something different. So it's definitely something that needs to be worked on, because we're losing that physical connection for a connection that doesn't mean what that is. Wow, that's a fat dog. That is a fat chihuahua, and that one looks nervous. That was like, what the fuck? Oh my god, the face on that is an ugly fucking dog. I am sorry.
No, she is terribly ugly.
Jeez, it's like a Chihuahua pit bull mix. It's like the pit bull fucked the Chihuahua and killed it, and it was born at the same time.
These two are the rescues. We have two rescues and then one that's our own, and then I'll probably show the fluff ball. I'm feeling very doggy centric, and this is just her face. She's not actually nervous.
She looks very nervous, like that face. Can she see me? Can she see me full screen? Hi. God, that's such a goofy looking face. Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
Go on, Tina. She's
Oh.
humongous. I got one more though. This
Uh-oh.
one has gotten.
Is it the ugly one?
No.
Oh.
She's gotten so big.
Jesus Christ. Hi. This is your Samoyed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful fucking dog.
Yeah.
How's the shedding going?
Oh,
the undercoat should be coming in, right?
It is. The cheese are shedding much worse.
I know it's hot as fuck there in fucking Florida still.
Good girl. She's learning. Sorry. Brooke just started bringing dogs in. One at a time. She's bad. Yes.
All right. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that is going to be the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. I greatly appreciate you guys have been fucking amazing. But it's time to go play some games, and we're going to go play some games over on Twitch. If you don't fucking know, it is twitch.tv/Mr. Malice, Mr. with a Y, because some other jackass has Mr. with an I. So I'm Mr. with a Y. So if you want to watch us play some scary, spooky games like Phasmophobia or Dead by Daylight, then go check us out over at Twitch. Because we're going to be going over there right the fuck now. What in the shit? Hold on a second. Kid wanted milk. Try to do everything off camera. So that's where we're going to be going. So thank you guys. You guys are fucking amazing. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. Thank you. So that's where we're going to be going. We're going to be going over there. We're going to be playing some games. So for those that don't know, we do have a, what the fuck do you want to call the goddamn thing? I haven't installed it yet. Fucking Gilded. The Gilded server. Right?
Yeah.
So if you guys want to learn anything, we actually have a Gilded server that we set up, which is specific for learning different paths and things like that. You know, if you guys are interested in learning certain things. So myself, Mystic, and Rook are all available for conversation on that platform. Go check it out. Just waiting for Mystic to throw the link in the chat because he's got the link for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up now. I shall throw it in. I just want to make sure I get the right one because there's like 18 different links in Gilded.
Just get the main room one.
Yeah.
Just invite.
I don't know why I didn't link it, but whatever. It's there.
All right.
Copy paste.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it to it. Get it done. Get her done. Who remembers that? What was that comedian's name?
Get her
When it
done.
Yeah, the Get Her Done guy. What was his name? He's like a NASCAR redneck.
Larry the Cable
motherfucker.
Guy.
Yeah,
or
Larry the
Jeff
Cable Guy. That's
Foxworthy?
it. No, it was Larry. No, Jeff Foxworthy is when he did the box of Kleenex tissues one.
Or you might
Right.
be a redneck if.
Yeah, you might. If your porch collapses and kills more than 5 dogs, you might be a redneck.
Oy vey.
If you mow your lawn and you find a car, you might be a redneck.
I grew up as a redneck. Fun.
Jesus Christ, I remember that shit.
No comment.
If your idea of quality entertainment is a 6-pack and a bug zapper, you might be a redneck. Oh my god! And some of those are actually true, by the way.
I know, right?
Anyway, guys, that is going to be it. Thank you for hanging out. Greatly appreciate you guys are fucking amazing. If you're going to catch us over on Twitch, we'll be over there in about 5 minutes to play some games. All right. See you guys later. Thank you for hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. Love your fucking faces. Peace the fuck out.
Deuces.
Bye.